this live. I'm so happy to be here with you today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to manifest a life of your dreams through daily habits. So, I'm really excited to talk about this topic because a lot of the time when I used to think that I wanted to manifest my dreams of like certain things that I wanted in my life to show up in my life, I thought I had to do big and grand things for them to manifest in my life. And then I came to realize that it's not actually really big actions. It's not always quantum leaping. It's changing your identity every day through the actions that you take in your daily habits. What are you choosing to feed your body? What are you choosing what are you choosing to manifest in your daily life through your small habits? What are you choosing to do first thing in the morning? Are you choosing to look on your phone, or are you choosing to take a moment to take a few deep breaths to say words of gratitude for another day? What is it? How are you moving throughout your daily life? All of these things, all these small habits add up to pretty much form an identity of who you are and how you show up in the world. And that in turn affects the kind of things that you attract into your life and manifest. So I have a few notes here about the daily habits that have helped me manifest the things that I've wanted in my dream life, and I'm going to share those with you today. I don't think this is really all of the points, but I'm going to start with these, and I'm sure I'm going to need a part 2, but let's get right into it with these tips. So, and I want to preface too that with all of these habits, it's not something you should take up all at once. Just choose one to start with and go from there. You don't have to do everything all at once. You can choose one thing and do that one thing for repeated number of days until it becomes your new norm, and then add something else on top of it. Don't go like something that I'm really bad at, so I'm honestly giving this advice also to myself, is that sometimes I get so excited when I watch a video on YouTube or on TikTok or whatever, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great advice. And I take all of the things and I try to apply them all at once. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this didn't really work because it's too scattered and it's too much at once. It's too much for you to handle all at once. It's too much change. So what you want to do is maybe start with one that's calling your name, and then go from there and take like repeated action towards this daily. And once it becomes normal and you feel that this is no big deal, this is like nothing to you, then you move on and add on to another one. And this is actually a part of a method that's used. I think he talks about it in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, where he talks about once you have a habit that's already set, it doesn't feel like a big deal to you. You stack something else on top of it, and this makes it easier to actually form a new habit instead of just trying to do them all at once at the same time. So the first one I have here is meditation. So there are different types of meditation. There are meditations to ground you. There are meditations to help you breathe better. There are meditations to clear your head. There are meditations to help you reset your nervous system. There are meditations for releasing trapped emotions. There are so many kinds of meditations. There are meditations for manifestation. So it really just depends on how you want to use different types of meditation, but meditation can help you manifest in a way where when you clear your head, when you feel grounded, when you are in a place where you just feel you're able to respond better to things, there is a space between when something happens and when you respond to it, you're able to make better decisions. You're able to respond differently. Whereas to when you are in survival mode, or when you are rushed, or when you don't have that clarity or groundedness, you're kind of up in your head, you're not really feeling at your best. You're not going to make the best decisions. And when you don't make the best decisions continuously as a habit, then you're not really going to have you're not going to be building the life of your dreams. You're not going to be choosing things intentionally. You're not going to be making decisions intentionally. you're going to be making, but when you do these meditations, you are going to be choosing more intentional options and therefore changing your identity and therefore attracting the things to you that you desire. And so I would say meditation is definitely one of the top ones because it really just shifts your relationships. When you are having a discussion with someone, when you are talking to them, it is easy. Let's say they say something that triggers you, and in your dream life, you have this partner where nothing ever goes wrong, which is not really realistic. But let's say you have this partner and you want to have certain interactions with them. You're imagining a certain way where you are going to be with them and everything will kind of feel amazing and you have more playful interactions. That is not necessarily going to happen if you don't have that space between when you interact with someone and when you are able to respond to them. So let's say they say something that triggers you. You could either choose to react and kind of lash out and say something you don't mean or kind of get defensive, or if you are doing meditations, what that does is give you a space between what they say and how you respond. So if you have that space to think, what is the best thing for me to say right now to this? How can I show up as an example of not engaging with this kind of behavior? So you respond differently than you would have normally. And that changes your identity daily. And then you attract different kinds of responses from this person and how they're speaking to you. So that is just one example of that. You can use this in so many different ways of life. Like, it's not just relationships. It's anything that you interact with where you're co-creating. If you are putting energy into something, you're putting energy into most things, but the type of energy that you're using from, like, if you're you're coming from a place of low frequency, like a low vibration where like you're in survival mode, you're not necessarily going to have the best responses from people or attract the best kind of experiences into your life. And so doing meditation just helps you become more grounded and make better decisions and attract that life to you. And the second thing I have here is movement. So some things you can do are yoga, walking, dancing. You can do Pilates, like all kinds of movements where weightlifting. Movement just helps the energy flow better in your body and it puts you in a better mood. So if you, let's say, aren't moving, you are pretty much sitting on your phone all day, or you're watching TV all day, playing video games all day, and you're feeling so low in your body, you're feeling heavy, and you just don't know how to move forward, it is because you're not moving your body. It is because you are feeling stuck and you're stagnant, because anything that stays in one place and is stagnant just becomes kind of murky. I'm thinking of water, so that's the word that came to mind. Anything that just sits for too long becomes murky. It doesn't have any flow of energy in it. So moving your body helps you become more at ease within your body, become more in flow, being able to take action towards your dream life, attracting the things that you want in your life. And let me see what else I have on here. Oh, yes. So I have another point here is that a lot of the time when people are not taking action, when they are in a stagnant place, it is because they are not moving their body. Ideas don't come to people who are not taking action. Ideas come to people who are constantly taking action, regardless of whether it's messy or not. When you're taking action, ideas come to you because ideas want to come to life. They want to manifest in physical reality. And the more you move your body, the more your body attracts better ideas to it. The more your body, if you, let's say, want to create the life of your dreams, but you're sitting and you're just watching Netflix or scrolling on your phone, and you're not really taking any action to make that happen, even in your daily habits, in the way that you eat and the way you move and the way that you show up, your dream life is not going to happen. You're not going to manifest that. All you're going to manifest is more of what you're doing now, which is stagnation and staying stuck. So when you move your body and when you're able to just be in that energy of taking action towards your dream life, you are telling God or the universe, I am deserving of this. I am capable of taking an idea and putting it into action. I'm capable of taking an idea and bringing it to life. The more ideas you get and the more creative you feel, and the more you feel in your body, the more you're able to attract more into your life. So that was the second point. And the third point, sorry, I got distracted. There's an Amazon delivery. The third point is removing stuck or trapped emotions from your body. And this is kind of also the same idea of allowing energy to flow in your body. So when we have stuck emotions in our body, when we feel something, like for me, even now I still feel a little bit of it, is like maybe a stuck emotion here or here. There are certain parts in my body where I still feel stuck emotions because it's years of things building up. And so as I've been releasing that, it lessens and lessens. But when you have stuck emotions in your body, the energy is not able to flow as freely. You're not able to manifest as freely because you're not expressing yourself fully. So releasing trapped emotions is super important if you want to allow that flow of energy to be free, so that you're able to feel abundant and feel good in your body to attract that dream life to yourself. So one of the resources that I have here, well, I guess I'll go into different things. I talk about this in I don't know if it was my last video or the one before that, is how to heal survival mode. I think it's linked below as well. Is if there are things like yin yoga, I have them written down here too, but I talk a lot more about that in the other video of how to heal survival mode. Yin yoga, yoga nidra, dancing, singing. There are so many things you can do, but the one other what is it called? I'm sorry, book. I don't know why I couldn't come up with that word. The other resource I have is a book called The Emotion Code. And the Emotion Code, he talks about how to release stuck emotions in your body without necessarily having to think about where they came from, what incident caused that to happen. You just use muscle testing and your subconscious mind to locate what kind of emotions need to be released, and you use a magnet to release them. I'm not going to go too much into detail about this, but I definitely recommend looking into this book or looking into videos on YouTube about this method. And when you're able to release those stuck emotions from your body, you're just feel so much more freedom and ease in your body, and you're able to attract the life of your dreams to you. And the fourth thing is eating foods that nourish your body. Actually, speaking of which, let me drink some water first. Is there anybody live right now? Hello? Okay, so the fourth point I have here is, like I said, eating foods that nourish your body and just leave you feeling energetic. Something that I used to notice in myself, that was a few years ago, is I would eat foods and I wasn't really aware of what felt good in my body and what wasn't, because I wasn't really in my body. I was always in my head. And so like when I started to notice that certain foods made me feel super heavy, bloated, fatigued, like I had no energy. As soon as I ate, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm ready for a nap. When I started to notice this, I started changing. First I started journaling about what kind of foods were doing that in my body. And as I took note of those foods, I started kind of experimenting, taking out what doesn't work for my body and adding in something else, maybe more vegetables, and then taking out grains. So I started experimenting with that. And as I changed my diet, as I altered my diet to fit my body and my needs and eating in a more healthy way, I started to feel so much more energy. And the more energy you feel, the more excited you feel about life. This is kind of weird to explain because I feel like when you're in pain or when you are sick or when you don't have a lot of energy because you're not eating in a healthy way, you're not eating high vibration foods, you literally feel so heavy that you put all of your attention, when you're in pain, all of your attention goes to your body because your pain is literally calling out. Like, it's your body's way of calling out to you. It's like, hello, like, we need help. So when that is happening and all of the attention is going to your body and all the pain that you feel or all the heaviness you feel, you're not necessarily going to be able to attract the life of your dreams. If you go watch the video of how to heal out of survival mode and see that Maslow's hierarchy of needs that I talk about, you need to meet your basic needs first. You need to be at least able to meet your having some kind of safety and shelter, being able to eat healthy. It's not necessarily, it talks about food, but it's not just any food that will make you feel that way or make you feel good. So in order to be able to go to the next level of manifestation of self-actualization on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you need to have your most basic needs met and to feel good in your body. Otherwise, your attention is not going to be on, should I take this vacation, or should I accept this kind of job, or should I accept this kind of offer, or like, you're not going to be having high vibe thoughts. You're going to be focused on all the pain that you feel in your body. So maybe if this is one of the things that you've been struggling with, this can be one of the things that you start with. Read books, do some research. You can also do just research on yourself, keep track of the foods that you're eating, how do they make you feel an hour, 2 hours from eating, all of that. Sorry, that was my cat. I think maybe he's getting a little lonely. But let me finish. And then, yeah, he's just walking around. Okay, and then the next point I have here is, let me see, to pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to what kind of thoughts are showing up in your life, what kind of thoughts keep repeating in your head, because those come from patterns that are in your subconscious mind. Those come from patterns that you are running that are literally probably most of, like, that is how you make decisions. That is what you take actions on. That is what makes, why you feel the way that you do, why you act the way that you do, why you move the way that you do. Start paying attention to your thoughts. Are you in a scarcity mindset? Are you saying things like, oh, like when you think about the life of your dreams, are you thinking, oh, I can't have this? Or are you thinking, oh my gosh, like about how excited you are, like I can't wait for this thing to happen, and when this happens, this is going to be like this. Like, not that you're trying to put any ideas on how it's going to show up or how it's going to be, but try to pay attention to how, when you think about your dream life, are you in a scarcity mindset or in an abundance mindset? Do you believe that it's actually possible, or do you actually believe that it's not possible for you? Like, this is not something that you can even attract to you. This is not even something possible for someone like you. Is that something that oh my god, I lost my train of thought for a second. Okay, so you see, like, at that moment, I literally went into my head. At that moment, why I lost my train of thought is I went into my head. The more that I am in my body, the more easier things flow for me. As a woman, at least, that is how I feel. The more I am in my body, the more easier things feel. And the more I am in my head, the more difficult things feel. So with paying attention to your thoughts, it's not necessarily to say that you should be in your head, but pay attention to your thoughts, because those kind of create your reality. They're kind of like, even when you're meditating, pay attention to your thoughts. What are the things that keep repeating? Because those are telling you, this is why you don't have what you want. It's because you keep repeating certain thoughts and acting in the same way that those thoughts keep giving you a signal of like, oh, I'm not good enough, like I'm not even gonna try. Like, let's say you have this thought of, I'm not worthy enough of this, so you don't try. That is the action that you don't take. You don't try. You don't think you're capable of doing something, so you don't go after it. You don't even put any kind of action towards it. So if you have certain beliefs and certain things that keep popping up in your head repeatedly, those are running the show. Those are running your reality. So pay attention to them. And if you find yourself, which I'm sure you will, this is pretty normal. If you find yourself in a place where there's constant negative thoughts, continuously keep catching yourself and say, I am no longer available to have this thought. This is what I will think instead. I am no longer available for this. This is what I'm choosing. And then move on. And if it comes up again, you just keep repeating it. It's all about repetition. This is not something that happens overnight. This is literally years of programming and thinking. So it takes time to reprogram your mind and like kind of put space between you and the thoughts that are coming up, and whether you choose to attach yourself to that or not. And then the next point I have is I guess this kind of goes with the meditation one as well. It is make decisions from a place of groundedness and clarity. So when you're feeling confused, or when you're in a good mood, or when you're in a bad mood, most of the time you make a decision in the moment based on what mood you're in, rather than making a decision from a place of clarity and groundedness. Like when you're making a decision in the moment based on how you feel, depending on how you feel, obviously, sometimes it can backfire. So you want to make sure that when you make decisions, it's from a place of clarity and groundedness, so that you're able to trust yourself to follow through. So something that I used to do is I would make a decision while I'm excited about something, and then when the time came and I didn't feel like doing it, I would think, oh my gosh, like this sucks, I really have to do this. And then when I wouldn't do it over and over again, because this was a pattern, I kept doing this over and over again, and then I wouldn't show up, I had this belief now, I don't trust myself, I'm not capable of showing up for myself. But if I had made decisions from a more grounded place, from a more, from a place of clarity of, I'm making this decision because it's what I want to do, not because someone said something to me and now I want to pursue this thing, not because I heard this thing on TikTok and now I want to do it. When you make a decision from that space, it's not necessarily something maybe you want, maybe it's something that someone else is planting into your head. And I'm not saying that's always the case. Sometimes we also just get excited or we're in a low mood. So it's just better to make decisions when you're at a neutral place. And maybe this is the generator. This is like maybe my human design speaking. So, but that is my advice, and that's what has worked for me. Just making a decision from a more neutral place so that I'm able to follow through on it. And if you're in a place where you feel, I don't really have self-trust, I don't think that I am capable of following through on something because you have so much evidence of not following through, what you can do is choose one of these habits and tell yourself, like, this is how I'm going to build trust with myself. I am committing to this one habit, and say what your intention is behind it. Why did you choose that one specific habit? And then once you choose it, just commit to a specific time frame of the day that you're going, like what time are you going to do this of the day? How long will you do it for? What is the intention behind doing it every day? Why is it important to you? And so take it and practice this every day. And as you do this, you are building evidence for yourself on why you can trust yourself, on why you're capable of making decisions and following through on them. Start with one and see how it goes, and then, not see how it goes, but like start with one, and as you repeat it, like it might not feel easy in the beginning, but as you repeat all of this, it becomes easier and it becomes your norm. Any change that you do is not going to feel easy in the beginning. because it's not your norm. It's not on autopilot. It's something that you have to consciously take action towards and kind of put your will towards. So start with one habit and build trust with yourself that way by following through every single day. It doesn't have to be anything big. It can literally be 2 minutes, 1 minute, like whatever you want it to be, whatever you feel that you can give the time to it. I don't know how that one ended weird. Okay, so, and the last one I have is to practice gratitude daily. This has literally changed my life. So I used to find, not even that long ago, I used to find myself, like I would go up to a certain level and I'm like super happy, and then I would come back down and I would be like in this weird place of like, I don't know if it was self-sabotage or what it was, but I would bring myself down. It's as if like my rubber band was not big enough to hold that much gratitude. It was not able to hold enough, that much, like, can life really be this good? Can life really just be like what I'm living now? Can it feel this amazing? And then I would bring myself back down. And then I started practicing gratitude. I started writing down every day in the morning and at night 5 things that I'm grateful for. You don't have to necessarily start with 5. You can start with as many as you feel that you can write down and truly feel in your body grateful for. In the beginning when I started, I don't think I was even able to feel grateful in my body. I was just writing things that I thought I should be grateful for, if I'm being honest. Like I was like, oh, okay, like I have this and that in my life, like, and there's so many people that don't have this, and I would write it and I didn't necessarily feel it in my body at first. But as I kept going and in this practice, I started to feel more gratitude, and I started to see how it shifted like the way I see everything. Now I pay more attention to the flowers on my walks. Now I pay more attention to the way someone hands me something or gives me something, and I'm like, oh my God, that is so sweet of them. I'm so happy that they're in my life. Like, or let's say I have a good hair day and I'm like, I'm so grateful to have this hair and to have a great hair day. Like, it's literally small and big things. It's not even really, a lot of the time when I'm writing them, it's not usually a big thing. Most of the time it's something small. Most of the time it's a daily thing and sometimes I just feel so grateful for something that I keep repeating it every single day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for this. And the more that you stay in this energy, the more that you stay in this abundant energy of feeling grateful for everything that is around you, the more you attract to you. But when you're in a place where you feel like there's nothing to be grateful for, even though you probably, if you're able to watch this video, there's a lot to be grateful for, you will be in a very like a scarcity mindset, and you will just only focus on the bad that's in your life. Let's say like a situation happens, instead of seeing the good in it or seeing the glass half full, you'll tend to go to the glass half empty and just see all the problems and things that go with it. And you'll start to just see everything in your life as a problem rather than an opportunity or a solution. And so doing this every day just retrains your brain, because as humans, we are trained to look for things that are going wrong, things that could potentially affect our safety. So this rewires your brain to stay in a more abundant state, so you're able to attract more to you. You cannot attract more to you when you focus on all the things that are going wrong and all the things that are horrible. So that is the last point I have. And I just want to say that all of these habits can work together. All of these habits kind of build on top of one another, and you don't have to do them, like I said, all at once. Start with one and see how you feel. Maybe you're already even doing one. Maybe you can add another one on top of it around the same time. I definitely recommend Atomic Habits if this is something that, if building daily habits is something that you struggle with. I noticed for me, in the beginning, I used to think like I had to do these big gestures and big things. And I kept thinking like I would do it for a day or two or a week, and then I would be like, oh no, I don't feel like doing this anymore. This is exhausting. But if you start off with something that is more realistic to you, with your schedule, with where you're at, and following through on small daily habits, your life shifts over time. I feel like a lot of the time in personal development, we want to rush to the end. We want to rush to the destination, to that dream life that we're like, we have to take big actions. We have to quantum leap. But you don't really have to quantum leap. Quantum leaping happens when you are able to build a strong foundation of healthy daily habits. That is how that happens. If you don't have a foundation to build on top of, a good, strong foundation to build on top of, you're not going to be able to hold whatever is built on top of that. You're not going to be able to hold everything that you attract to you, if you're able to attract something to you, because I'm sure there's a way to attract what you want towards you. But if you don't have that strong foundation of daily habits that is just able to hold you, I don't think you'll be able. It could be short-lived manifestations, maybe something that you're not able to hold long-term. So doing all of these things are just ways to help you attract more to you, but also just be able to hold those manifestations when they do arrive. So it's not something that just happens once and it's like, oh, that was a fluke. Yeah, that just happened once and I don't know how to make it happen again, or it just crumbles. So that is everything for this video. I don't think I have any more notes here. If this is something that you really struggle with, because it was really hard for me as well to have these daily habits and to have some kind of accountability when I started, I would love to work with you and be on this inner work journey with you. I offer one-on-one coaching, and if this is something that speaks to you, or if the way that I work speaks to you, I would love to join you on your inner work journey in a more intimate way. But this is everything that I had for this video, and I hope that this is going to help you manifest more in your daily life by just taking consistent small actions. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.